Welcome to Trial by Wine. We take a closer look at crimes that highlight how fascinating humans can be. Schmitty, Swanee and Clarky visit crimes and run them through their jury of three, debating both sides of the case to agree an appropriate, if totally fictitious, sentence. Please be advised, Trial by Wine may include explicit or disturbing content and will include drunken rambling. Listener discretion is advised. Alrighty, how are we?
Wonderfully well.
So good. So good.
Excellent. So this is the first time ever we've done three. We'll by the end of today, we'll have done 3 episodes. So we are probably going to dispense with the obligatory toilet break conversation. But I think we should talk about what we're drinking. What are we drinking?
Glad you asked. Carla, do you want to play that game that we do where you guess what you're drinking, what I'm drinking, and I guess what you're drinking?
You'll be very surprised. Actually, see if you can guess what I'm drinking now.
Water.
Are you on the water?
I need...
Such hard stuff today.
Yes, I know.
I put it down to study skills.
I put it down to being slightly hungover. Kids sport this morning, followed by study skills, and now being on our third back-to-back. So, yes, I just need to hydrate a little. What have you got, my love?
Good call. Well, we're having 2017 Elizabeth's Block from John Gehrig, which is a vineyard blend of Cab Sauv, Cabernet Franc, Malbec, Merlot, and Petit Verdot. Makes a rich, succulent style of wine, ripe fruits from tannins and good aging potential.
Does that make sense? Like, not sense, but do you resonate with what it says? Do you understand it and can you taste all those things?
I do. So having the 5 types means it's got a lot going on. It's got firm tannins because it's just the woodiness kind of thing that you get.
I'd like to have firm tannins, but, you know, according to my mammogram, the lady who gave me the mammogram the other day, I think I've got anything but firm tannins.
I've never had a wine with saggy tannins, if that's where you're going.
That's good to know. What about you, Schmidt? You got some saggy or some firm tannins?
I think they're pretty firm tannins.
Firm tannins.
Well, my actual tannins are quite firm at the moment.
Exactly.
Yeah, I don't know why. Having done 2 episodes and done a bit of Pepsi and had some soda water, I'm just sick of it. So I'm having a little bit of my favourite Ivy Burn Shiraz. And as we know, I've got no taste or smell, but it's sort of sweet. It's interesting when you have lost all of those senses. What's left? I can just smell it, very hint of it, and from a flavour perspective, it's just tastes a bit sweet, which is I wouldn't say that when I'm normally drinking it. So anyway, I'm clearly just drinking it for the alcoholic buzz as opposed to the enjoyment of the flavour.
Yes,
that's me. Now, shall we introduce ourselves? I'm Schmitty.
I'm Swanee.
And I'm Clarky.
And together we are Trial by
Wine. Beautiful.
Mm-hmm. That's
all right.
us.
Clarky, what have you got for us?
All right, so this is going to be a little bit choose your own adventure. So do you want the scandal up front, like the headline that drew me in, or do you want to let that play out through the article?
Oh, I'm torn.
Yeah, I know, right? It's that instant gratification versus...
Or you could build.
Build?
Yeah.
Schmitty, you okay with that?
I'm happy to go with that, yeah.
Yeah, let's see where we end up.
Okay, remind me to come back to the headline later because it is quite funny.
Okay.
So this is the story of Natalie Grace Barnett, who came to the US 2 years before the Barnetts adopted her in 2010, but had no birth certificate. Initial tests showed she was between 8 and 10 years old, although later tests proved otherwise.
45?
When Christine Barnett and her now ex-husband, Michael, adopted Natalie Grace Barnett in 2010, they were told she was a 6-year-old with dwarfism. But the couple soon became convinced that Natalie Grace was actually an adult with severe mental problems. And here's where it gets a little bit Dr. Phil, right? Not long after adoption, Natalie Barnett began to allegedly exhibit odd and violent behaviour, even threatening to kill members of the family. Fucking hell, she's
Sounds like a horror
Chucky.
film.
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah. The Barnetts consequently ran tests on Natalia, which suggested that she was at least 14. Can I just check? Have I been calling her Natalie Grace Barnett all this time?
And that's Natalia.
Yeah,
right, okay.
so...
Natalia. Okay.
That's what happens when you do 3 in a row. It is definitely Natalia. So they confirmed that she was, or suggested she was at least 14. By 2013, they were convinced that Natalia was an adult woman. The family rented an apartment for her and left to move to Canada.
Okay.
Though the couple has since been charged with felony neglect for abandoning their adopted daughter, Christine Barnett remains adamant that Natalia is not only a full-fledged adult, but also a dangerous sociopath.
Why
is this so funny?
Dangerous sociopath.
It just plays into all of those, the reborn babies and the Chucky and just
Chucky,
these
evil little thing.
Like I know a woman that I used to work with who is scared of dwarves, and it's just all of this playing out in my head of little people coming to just kill the big people, which is somewhat hysterical and somewhat fucking frightening. Anyway, so the media is painting me as a child abuser, Christine Barnett said, but there is no child.
I'm an adult abuser.
But there is no child here.
Should not be confused.
Exactly. Natalia Barnett, however, tells a different story. So Christine Barnett always wanted a big family.
I'm interested to see what a 10-year-old story is. How old will she be now?
Can I just read that line again? Because it's kind of ironic. Christine Barnett
always wanted a big family. So she adopted a dwarf, yeah.
Although she and Michael had biological children, including their son Jake, an autistic child prodigy, they hope to expand their brood through adoption.
Mm-hmm.
I must go
They
back
sound like
for a
nice
sec.
people.
So, yeah, I must say, I'm literally reading this from the allthat'sinteresting.com article. Just so that they know that I'm absolutely utilising their expertise, not my own. Yes, I hope to expand their brood through adoption. As such, both were thrilled to hear that an adoption agency in Florida had a little girl in need of a home in May 2010.
Good old Florida. Yep.
Within 24 hours, they flew from Indiana to Florida and met Natalia Grace for the first time, immediately accepting her into their family.
Do you think that's when little Natalia Grace threw a handbag in the corner and stubbed a ciggy out and went,
necked the last bit of the bottle of vodka.
Pulled her skirt down and straightened herself.
Quick, they're here. Hide my handbag in my durries. Oh, quick. Oh.
Yep. Stuck a little bow in her hair. Yep, and started speaking in a high-pitched voice. According to Christine, she could tell that Natalia Grace would need extra care. Here we go. The girl suffered from spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia.
Spondyloliosis.
No. Yeah, I'm gonna start that again. The girl suffered from spondyloepiphyseal dysplasia, a rare form of dwarfism.
Right.
Oh, okay.
But having worked with Jake and run a children's daycare, Christine felt up to the challenge. I'm not sure running a daycare is the same as having a dwarf.
Or just a child with a lot of needs. Needs.
Oh, right. Not because she's little, I can just deal with that because I deal with daycare.
Oh, maybe that is what she thought. But
Well, that's what I'm wondering. Yeah.
Okay.
However, it soon became clear, according to Christine and Michael, that Natalia had tendencies and behaviours not befitting a child.
Well, there's those durries again, Carla.
Yeah.
Oh, I know.
Yeah. She used to put vodka in her water bottle.
I said love, I said doll.
No, she's got, one of those That's Life, those cheap magazines where she's filling out a couple of, word games, reading articles about when the headline's so controversial, my husband's son's daughter's screwed my thing and they murdered them. Yeah, and she's reading that. Oh, what was that, Mum, with those things? Just do some word games, Mum.
I love it when you do your Australian accent, some word games.
Word games. It's word games.
It's so good. So Christine Barnett claimed that she noticed a few odd things off the bat. According to her, Natalia Grace had pubic hair and adult teeth.
I don't know. I'm not laughing at either of those separately. It's the put together that you notice the adult teeth and the pubes.
Are there pubes in her adult teeth? Is that what's going on?
Or there are adult teeth in her pubes.
Oh, too far.
Please remind me, how old was she supposed to be at this point?
Six.
Oh,
yeah, yeah. And yeah, so she was supposed to be 6 when I adopted her, and she almost noticed this almost immediately. So, also, and this is, I'm going to say the first bit.
I'm sorry, I just want to ask, you noticed this almost immediately. What, she walked in and said, drop your pants?
Yeah. Well, you
I
know.
need to see when you got pubes, 6-year-old.
What I'm saying
she would have
is,
been giving her a bath or something, Smitty, probably.
Yeah, what I'm saying is
she adopted her, not in the process.
She was 6
not
at
in
the time.
process.
It wasn't like 3 years later that she noticed
Yeah, right.
this.
Yeah.
Okay, right.
But so she noticed she had pubic hair and adult teeth, and she hid bloody clothing in the garbage.
Oh,
Okay.
Right, okay, right, yep.
When I read that line, I went straight to, and she murders people and hides their clothes in the garbage.
You've misunderstood
But
that, darling.
Christine suspected was evidence that Natalia had already gotten her period.
Correct.
Yeah.
All the women in the room knew that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah. Not me.
She's not murdering people yet.
Well, I wish she was. That'd be great. Not really. What's more, Natalia Grace seemed increasingly violent. It's just so wrong. It really is a horror movie. In an interview with the Daily Mail, Christine claimed that Natalia had threatened to stab the family in their sleep and once poured bleach into Christine's coffee.
What?
They just have those normal issues that daughters and mothers have.
Out. I'm losing my shit over this. She would make statements and draw pictures saying she wanted to kill family members, roll them up in a blanket and put them in the backyard, Christine said.
Okay.
Like, there's no fact supporting this, but fuck, imagine if you adopted a 6-year-old.
Who just said, I want to kill you, roll you up in a blanket and put you in your
this
backyard.
is serious horror movie stuff.
She's quite, for a 6-year-old,
She's got
with
good
pubes and
language.
cheek, she's quite
Yeah.
she's quite specific around what she wants to achieve.
And
I don't know that my kids,
clothing.
I don't want to kill you, but I'm going to wrap you up and put you in a shallow grave
Got
in
it
the
all
backyard.
planned out.
As an aside, I decided to have a quick look on Google about when people with dwarfism actually do reach sexual maturity because I wondered whether or not it could be early. And so that's... And the first thing I found, in fact, the first page I found were all references to basically Dungeons and Dragons or something, and it was like
that makes sense.
Dwarves reach maturity at 50, unlike humans. I'm like, wait a minute. I don't think what I found here is appropriate. And then I realised I was looking at.
I could get Asher into
fantasy
fantasy.
shit.
He's quite into that stuff.
Yeah, but apparently no. It actually it is the opposite. So it can delay sexual maturity in people with dwarfism.
So she was probably 40.
Yeah,
43.
Hadn't learned to use a tampon though. Anyway,
pubes and teeth. I hadn't learned to use a tampon.
I wonder if Mum's seen a tattoo yet. That she's got a lower tramp stamp or something.
I love that she said bloody clothing and not like bloody underwear. Like it just,
Well, that's she actually didn't have a period. She was literally killing people.
That's
in the
what
street.
I like said. Maybe I was
They're
right.
killing all the local cats and dogs, and getting a bit mucky, and had to throw those clothes out. Yeah.
Probably only the small things.
Oh God, are we able to release this one? I'm not sure. Anyway,
wait till we get to the end and then decide.
Okay.
This might be like our sealed section.
Yeah, exactly. Bonus content. So, Christine also said she was standing over people in the middle of the night.
Which is quite a feat.
Well, she wasn't
That
standing
can't be
over them. She
easy.
must have been standing on them, wouldn't she have been standing up on a bed?
Standing on a chair.
Yeah, I was going to
No,
say
she would
she's
have
got
had to have been at the bed. Yeah.
Yeah. She said you couldn't go to sleep. This is how bad the standover tactics were.
Mm-hmm.
We had to hide all the sharp objects.
Jesus, that's terrifying.
It's fucking awful. But somewhat hilarious. Allegedly, Natalia Grace attacked a baby, scoffed at family therapy, started hearing voices, and exhibited other alarming behaviour. She even apparently tried pushing Christine into an electric fence. See?
Terrible.
See?
She's a handful.
Sorry. I shouldn't have laughed at that. It's just, the last thing I expect you to say was electric fence.
That's how far it escalated.
I was just like, push her into an oven. I've got this whole, Hansel and Gretel feeling. There's the little witch.
Yeah.
I love that she even tried pushing her into it.
It's all a bit far-fetched.
Oh, it's hilarious.
Okay.
She was jumping out of moving cars, claimed Christine.
Like a stunt.
I was just going to say she's a
Baby.
4-year-old stunt double.
Double.
Just trying to make a living.
Oh, far out.
And for people who listen to podcasts and complain about the host just laughing, oh, come on, we've got to laugh at this. This is ridiculous.
God, I've literally got tears in my eyes. She was smearing blood on mirrors.
Oh, come on. This is The Exorcist. Well, it's not, but it could be, yeah.
She was doing things you could never imagine a child doing. Eventually, Christine and Michael tried to get their daughter professional help. Natalia Grace...
Eventually?
Eventually, yeah.
Okay.
Natalia Grace apparently told doctors at that point she was actually 18 and that it had been fun to terrorise her family.
It's been fun for us to listen to.
I can't even read it.
Fair play.
Christine also claimed that bone density tests suggested that Natalia was an adult. She added that Natalia never grew, which Christine said should happen even in children with dwarfism. Oh, I'm not sure that's the crime.
Yeah, I don't know about that, yeah.
In 2012, the Barnetts decided to take action. They managed to correct Natalia's legal age to 22, which is 16 years older than what they thought she was when they adopted her 2 years prior.
So just ask a question about the bone density thing. So they cut her leg off and they looked at how many rings were on the bone.
That's exactly it. Just like,
you're 24,
just like a
you're
tree.
22. Yeah, exactly. You're 22.
1, 2, 3. Some of those are close, but yeah, I think they're definitely separate. So they corrected her legal age to 22 through a Marion County Superior Court so that she could receive the psychiatric care she needed as an adult and be cut free from the family.
Oh, God.
That's fucking scary because that actually makes it sound like there's some legitimacy to the age thing and therefore the head fuckery.
Yeah.
There might be, but it doesn't mean that she's just not a sick person. But yeah.
That doesn't mean it's not funny.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Unless you're part of it, then it's fucking scary as.
Electric fence. You know what? I take from that? Don't walk near an electric fence.
Well, we all know that. Living on a farm, you don't want to do that.
No. Painful.
No. Oh, it's awful.
It's awful.
I put my hand directly on one once. You know how you all laugh about how I've always got a story? I was at a friend's place who had horses and she said, mind the electric fence. And I don't know why, but literally a moment later, I put my hand directly on it. No, it wasn't a kind of compelled to do it. I don't know what, anyway, it went zzz and I was like, oh, she said, I told you not to do that. I was like, yeah.
That's why I did it.
I don't know why. Anyway.
No, I think that's why you were told not to, so you did it.
No, I think I overbalanced or something and put my hand out. And then when it's like, oh, that's the electric fence. There it is.
So, once they'd corrected her legal age to 22, Christine, Michael and their sons moved to Canada. They left Natalia Barnett in a rented apartment in Lafayette in July.
It's not okay.
Well, if she's
Anyway.
22...
You still don't leave a family member who has got psychological issues, because that's why they corrected it, so she'd be treated as an adult in a completely different, like, Canada to, I don't know where, Lafayette's where? Florida. They couldn't go, unless they went to Alaska, they couldn't go much further.
No, she was in Florida. I think it's in Indianapolis or something like that. What was that? They flew from Indiana to Florida to get her.
Oh, so there's in Indiana. Okay, right.
Yeah. So, but you say that, like, I understand that in the context of the real world, but fuck me, if I was in a horror movie and Chucky was coming at me, I'd be fucked if I wouldn't lock the fucker in the cupboard.
Absolutely.
You would have set fire to Chucky by now.
I understand that's not good parenting, but the little fuck's trying to kill us. Yeah. I'm not putting up with that. So, Christine Barnett said she paid rent for a year before the family left the country, and that she helped Natalia to get a social security number, apply for an ID, and get food stamps. That's better than what I'd do with Chucky. I must say...
Pleased you're not a father.
Yeah. Also, there is no connection between my relationship with Chucky and
this story.
Christine's relationship with Natalia. Yeah. Although I do keep seeing them. Natalia Grace was eventually convicted in 2014. Sorry, I'll start that again. Natalia Grace was eventually evicted in 2014. It's a massive one word makes such a difference.
Carla and I just were like,
what? Yeah. Even in my head, I heard what I said. I'm like, what? What did she do? Oh, hang on. She didn't do anything. Natalia Grace was eventually evicted in 2014, however, and police said that it was neighbours who had taken her under their wing. Michael and Christine divorced that same year. Natalia's direct path after that point is unclear, though couple Antoine and Cynthia Manns did petition to become her legal guardians in March 2016. This would require restoring Natalia's original birth date to 2003, which the Barnetts filed an objection.
What do they care? They've given up caring about this person. All right.
Yeah.
Or maybe it makes them look bad. Yeah.
According to Cynthia Wilson Mann's Facebook account, however, it certainly appeared as though Natalia had joined this new family. Nonetheless, on September 11, 2019, both Christine and Michael Barnett were charged with felony neglect. The Barnetts have professed their innocence. "I've been cooperative the whole time," said Christine. "I've been truthful with people the whole time. I am being charged by the state of Indiana for crimes against a child when the state of Indiana has determined multiple times that Natalia was an adult." Both Michael and Christine Barnett have been released on bail and a bond, respectively. Their side of the story has been corroborated by several clinicians and hospital staff. From day one, this was a mission of love. But when you bring a child into your home, you expect them to be a child. Fuck, it's so messed up.
Without pubes and teeth.
Yeah. Adult teeth.
Oh,
adult teeth, sorry.
Adult teeth. To be accused of this is unconscionable to me. It's just horrifying. Christine Barnett was released on September 19 after posting a $5,500 bond, while her ex-husband was released after posting $5,000 bail. As shocking as all that seems, there's another side to the story. Natalia Grace Barnett says she was just a child when her adopted family abandoned her, and she has proof. For starters, Daily Mail TV found a woman claiming to be Natalia Barnett's birth mother in Ukraine in October 2019. The woman, Anna Volodymyrivna, maybe, Gava, told the Daily Mail TV that Natalia really is a child. Gava said she was forced to give up her daughter after her birth in 2003. Just on a side note, Ukraine won Eurovision.
Woo!
Brilliant.
Not rigged for any particular
No.
political reason
No.
whatsoever.
No, they after the
I'm
judges.
sure they were good, but you know.
after the judges' vote, they were about fifth. But then you get the people's vote, and the people's vote.
Well, there you
pushed
go.
them
Yeah,
over.
the people's vote said you deserve it. If ever you
Correct.
deserved it, it's now.
Yeah, I love how they say Eurovision isn't political. It is so political.
Yeah,
It's brilliant.
Pixar. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
So her birth mother, or a person claiming to be her birth mother, said she was a baby.
yeah, she was forced to give her up after her birth in 2003. Through a translator from her home in Ukraine, Gava said, "I know exactly how old she is. This girl is my daughter, who was born 16 years ago. Doctors told me to leave the baby, leave her, don't ruin your life," they said. "Both them and my mum told me to leave her. They said the baby would never be good, that she would never be able to move, that she would be chained to a chair or to a bed." How the fuck do you go from never being able to move to being chained to a chair or a bed?
I thought you were going to say, how the fuck do you go from never being able to move to standing over people in their bed and terrifying them?
It's a quick trip.
Oh, this is terrible. She continued, she now lives in America with adoptive parents who want to ditch her. I thought everything was okay with her, and it all turned out that it's not all okay. Daily Mail TV added that reporters also saw a document from an orphanage where Natalia was supposedly taken in that suggested she was a baby in 2003. However, reporters were not permitted to take photos of this document. Meanwhile, Gava made a plea directly to Natalia. "Daughter, forgive me for what happened 16 years ago. Visit soon for me to see you. We are waiting for you. You have 2 sisters and 2 brothers." Natalia, too, went public with her story in 2019.
Wait for it.
She and the Mans sat down with Dr. Phil.
She and who?
The Mans. So the
You know, the many of the men.
the Mans were the neighbours who tried to adopt her.
Took her in.
Yeah. The more than one man. There, she said that Christine and Michael's version of the story was not true at all. Natalia also flatly denied that she was an adult scam artist.
At no point was she sucking down a dart when they came to adopt her.
I was definitely not standing over them.
Oh, gosh.
I was standing there looking up at them.
All right.
There, she said that Christine and Michael's version of the story was not true at all. Natalia also flatly denied that she was an adult scam artist. Indeed, a bone density test from 2010 seems to show that Natalia was in fact 8 years old. So originally she was 6 years old, but the bone density test says that she's 8 years old.
Yeah, but that makes sense. The mother said she was born in 2003, so she'd be 7-ish in 2010.
Yeah, but she was also supposed to be...
Sorry, what was that?
With pubes and teeth.
I don't know what. But that's all about whether or not we believe Christine Barnett's, version of events.
Yeah, but also she was supposed to be 6 when she was adopted. So, which
what
also
year was
could
she
be
adopted?
possible. 2010.
Yeah, so between 6 and 8, by the sound of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
With pubes and teeth.
Adult teeth.
Maybe she just had a merkin on and a what do you call it when you put a flipper? She had a flipper. Yeah, they tried to make her look her best. Yeah.
In other words, she was likely older than the Barnetts thought.
A little older.
But
was definitely not an adult woman.
Mm.
But after both Natalia and Christine spoke out, a judge filed a gag order and both parties went silent.
Oh, it worked. Good.
It's so Dr. Phil.
It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Slowly, over the past couple of years, their case has snaked its way through the legal system. As it stands now, Christine and Michael are not guilty of neglect because Natalia's legal age, which they changed, makes her an adult.
Oh, for God's sake.
More developments may emerge in the future, but for now, the story of Natalia Barnett remains a puzzling one. How old is Natalia Barnett? The answer seems to depend on who you believe.
We need to chop her leg off and do a proper assessment of her age based on the rings. That's right, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a very good piece of advice.
I'm a bit confused about Well, not really. I don't know.
As you should be.
Is the only point that's, the doctor's test, they're discounting that now that the Barnetts had done? Or are they just going by what the Canadian mother said?
Oh, do you want the headlines that I...
Yeah.
Yeah. So the story of Natalia Barnett, the 6-year-old adoptee who may have been an adult dwarf in disguise. And then Michael and Christine Barnett of Indiana claimed that their adopted daughter, Natalia Grace, is really a psychotic adult dwarf who tried to kill them. But where does the truth lie? How can you not get roped in by that?
I was going to say, it should just say, does the truth even matter?
Exactly. It's Dr. Phil.
You're here to gawk, yes.
Yeah, there's no truth in Dr. Phil. It's all about the journey.
I don't know. What do you think, Schmitty? Do you think...
Well, while you were chatting just then, I had some looks. I had a little look online at images of her, and they made the statement that she didn't age at all or she didn't grow at all, and that's unusual. She does change, and you can see a maturity in her when she's on Dr. Phil, comparative to the photos taken when she's a child or a lot younger. And she doesn't look like a 45-year-old in Dr. Phil. She looks, probably the age she is. Huh?
20? 25?
Yeah, but by the time she's on Dr. Phil, she probably is 20. What year did she appear on Dr. Phil?
2019 they went on Dr. Phil, so by which stage she would have been 15 if she was 6 when she was adopted.
Which I would say she does look a little older than that, but she doesn't look 40. Like, if they changed her age in, did you say 2012-ish to 22, she doesn't look 30.
Why do you think the Barnetts would lie? To what end? Like, why? Well,
because she's difficult
Chucky.
To manage. She's difficult to manage.
Oh,
She said, "I'm just doing it to wind them up." Like, she was difficult to manage. They didn't want her. She was a reject. She's not of their own blood, and she's difficult. And we've tried our best.
Didn't they have other adopted children? So it's not that she wasn't of their blood.
They had an autistic savant. Did they adopt others, Clarky? I know they wanted a big family.
Well, no, I think I didn't get any detail of that, but I think if she was the first one they adopted, you clearly not adopt anymore.
I thought they already had someone else.
Like the fucking, there's things that come up when you Google it saying, Natalia Grace Barnett, I'm 16, not a 33-year-old scam artist. Like the whole thing is just absurd.
Yeah, I'm looking at pictures of her on Dr. Phil. She'd pass for 16.
She'd pass for 33.
No,
I
she
think
doesn't.
She looks older. I reckon she looks older.
She's not had a great time, and she also has health issues.
But they're the fags. Yeah, they're too much vodka.
Well, she certainly looks older than, like, if she's supposed to be an adult when she's 6 years old or 8 years old, right, passing as 8 years old, she looks considerably different 9 years later.
Yeah, but they said she didn't grow. So I don't know whether her height changed.
But I don't know that that's a thing. Like, I don't know enough about the condition of dwarfism to suggest that from 8 to whatever you're meant to grow, there's some point in time where you don't.
I just noticed that when I Google Natalia Barnett, one of the things that comes up is dwarf picking up girls.
What?
Nice.
I know, what the fuck?
I'm sure there's lots of things that will come.
Stop it, Google
that.
You need better filters. There's something real wrong.
Yeah, because that really sounds like the stuff I'd be watching. Dwarf picks up girls, like.
And she clearly though got on okay with the people who took her in and cared about her.
Well, but
not her parents. The other ones.
But who knows how much they took her in? Where's the crime? Do you reckon? Put the hilarity aside. Where's the crime?
Oh, well, it depends who you. I don't know if I don't.
I reckon the crime sits with the people who actually decided to legalise the fact that she's 22.
So after the parents said,
yeah,
look,
the parent, like if she really isn't 22, and there's bone density tests that say she's 8 in 2010, then maybe that's where it all lies. But
oh wow, here we go.
If you look at that image, there's a significant difference between what she looked like in 2009 and 2019. She looks like a small child, or a child at least, in 2009. She looks like a young adult in 2019.
Yeah, but it wasn't about her looks not changing. It was about her size. And her head is the same size in that picture.
And those adult teeth.
Her teeth aren't even the same. I think they're lying. I think it's bullshit. I think the Barnetts bit off more than they can chew, wanted something different. I don't know, but I think it's bullshit. I think they neglected a child. Yeah, I do, yeah.
Wow. Even with all of her daycare experience?
Yeah, anyway, I really do think that they did exactly what they are accused of doing. And maybe they thought that it would be a less of an issue because she was from the Ukraine. She was I don't know, but... And then say, but I paid her rent for a year. Well, fucking, so you should. Like, where did you set her up with a job? No, she had no income. I gave her some food stamps.
Stamps, yeah.
Well, bully for you.
Yeah.
Like, even if she was a 20-something-year-old with significant mental health issues or disability, if you are a carer of someone with a disability, you don't say, well, I'm done now. You're old enough. I'm done. Off you go. That's just not how that works. So no, I'm fuck them. I'm all over taking them down to trial by one world.
Clarky, could you tell me how old Natalia Grace would have been when they headed off to Canada? Could you just remind me?
Well, it depends because she got their they got their age changed to 22.
Well, what?
But otherwise, she might have been 8.
8. So could you imagine if you lived in a street? And all of a sudden, the kid next door, hey, Natalia Grace, hey, what are you up to?
Just cooking dinner.
Just get down here. I might head down to the shops later, and I'm just, I'm in watching Dr. Phil or whatever else. Why? Oh, because I'm home alone. I live here alone now. Oh, my God.
I've got food stamps. It's all right.
I'm good. Don't worry. Where did she come from originally? Why is there
Florida.
no recourse? No, but was it an
Ukraine.
Agency or?
Well,
supposedly. But she ended up in Florida. So the Barnetts did not get her from the Ukraine. So there was an agency or somebody acting.
Yeah, and the agency thought she was 6 or 8 or whatever.
So where are they in all this?
They've done their job. You came in and you said immediately, I'm taking that baby. She's so cute. She's never going to grow up. She's going to be my little
God,
baby
I love
forever.
her. I love her outfit and handbag. It matches mine.
Get in Marbella.
She smokes the same darts as me. Get in Marbella. It's a
baby. Exactly that. So the Manns did petition to become her legal guardians in March 2016.
But she moved in it's like something like 2012, and then in 2014 she got evicted.
Yeah, 2014 she got evicted.
Not convicted. Yeah, that's why that stuck in my mind.
Yeah, correct.
And then 2 years later, so they've been watching this girl going, this isn't right. Probably feeding her all the time and looking after her anyway and going, well, we may as well become her legal guardians because this kid's been abandoned.
Yeah, and we saw
I don't understand. Where were child services or... I mean, this feels like she was just living her life in this house, was she? Did no one...
But there was no child services because the parents had her changed to legally a 22-year-old.
How do you even do that?
You go to court. He told you that. The crime is these people abdicating their responsibility for a difficult child because they couldn't give it back.
Yes, got it.
That's my opinion anyway.
Marion County Superior Court said that...
And do you think they just fabricated the stuff about the extent to which... Okay.
I think they made her up.
They watched Chucky and they went, let's see if we can do a little bit of that.
Yeah. How many of these horror films can we capitalise on to say that this girl... And when you say... sorry, I know you said, Clarky, that... I think you said that the Barnett's position was supported by health professionals and whatever.
Yeah.
But they didn't see her standing over them in bed. They didn't see her push the mother into an electric fence. They didn't see those things. So what was exactly corroborated
What was the corroborating evidence?
Yes. What did they see? That they said, oh, yeah, no, that's true.
They saw dead people.
They're everywhere. But I don't think they did.
So Christine also claimed that bone density tests suggested that Natalia was an adult.
Oh, so they just said, the bone density says she's a bit older than we thought.
She suggested
later,
22.
No. Natalia Grace apparently told doctors at that point that she was actually 18 and that it had been fun to terrorise her family. Like, there's a lot of apparentlys and suggesteds, but
Correct.
imagine if it's fucking true.
Yeah, but she could have said that just being a naughty little girl because it's been hilarious. Oh,
She
yeah, I'm
was-
45. Yeah.
She was jumping out of moving cars. She was
Was
smearing
she?
blood on
What
mirrors.
was she? But
Was
was
she?
she?
Oh, who cares? It's just fucking
Sounds great.
hilarious.
I mean, they've told a great story, but
Oh.
I don't really believe it. I can accept that she might have been a bit older, but having looked at the photos of her, she's clearly a young person, and then within a 10-year period, quite a different looking older person. So I just don't believe it.
Even though apparently dwarves reach puberty at later.
Yeah, but they live to 350, according to what I read online.
No, but you said you found something more credible that says that they come into puberty later. Didn't
Yes,
you?
I did. Well, it just means they get sexual maturity. So, from 14 to maybe 16. So the blood was definitely the blood of cats.
So when she
I'm
looks,
not debating that.
when she looks 16, maybe she was 33 because she looks
Nonsense.
nonsense.
What nonsense.
It's
Fucking
just
hell.
nonsense.
Swanee, where do you sit on this?
I'm a bit sort of torn, actually. It's a big story for them to make. I mean, if they were total assholes, the Barnetts, well, fair enough. I guess you would be capable of saying something like that about somebody. But I wonder if she was a fabulous little girl, like they wouldn't have said anything. So there must have been something there that was obviously bothering them. I did have a look online when you were chatting then, and I don't know if it's the autistic savant, but they do have a genius child. And the reason they moved to Canada was so he could go to a school there. So perhaps it was an inconvenience for them to have her go with them. But I don't know. It's not like they didn't know what they were buying into. They knew that they were getting a little person with special needs. I'm a bit torn. I know that Schmitty seems very sort of adamant that they're lies and that they try to just do something for their own convenience. But did they? I don't know. I'm torn. So is the crime that they have committed in terms of why they've been arrested, is that they changed her age, or is it that they
No,
left her?
the crime
they
was
don't care
that
about
they neglected a child.
Well, surely
because-
that what predecesses that is trying to change the fact that she was a child.
Well, no, because at this point, there's nothing to suggest that that the 22-year-old age was wrong. So it's just this whole horrible debate.
Okay.
But they were charged with neglecting a child, and
okay.
therefore they were found not guilty of that.
Okay, so let's assume that they were naughty and they lied and they did to suit their own agenda to go to Canada and just, made her behaviour out to be far worse and sinister than what it was. What's their motivation? Is their motivation they're protecting their other children who are gifted, or just because they just can't be bothered? It's all too hard. What do you think, Schmitty? Do you think it's that they just don't, it was all just a bit too hard?
Yeah, I think they bit off more than they could chew.
Chew.
Yeah.
I just can't believe that there wouldn't be some other way they could have asked for help and said, we can't, this is not working for us, we can't.
I don't know, Clarky. There's no suggestion they ever went back to the adoption agency or the authorities to say...
No, because it's a Dr. Phil story, like as if they'd do anything credible.
Yeah.
Because, they could have tried and said, look, this isn't working out.
But if they did, that wouldn't have made the headlines, because who cares about that stuff? We always want to hear the crazy Chucky story, don't we?
All right then. In that case, because I don't have much more to go on, I think that perhaps maybe the Barnetts can be forced to have like a little Chucky person. I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it because these are parents in another right with another child that is, has its own needs. I don't want to be too nasty.
I just had a thought though. What if they slept on a mattress on the floor? Then
So
she
she
could
could
actually
look
stand
all
over
the
them.
time.
Yeah.
It's 2022. Like, that kid's grown up. They're fine. Punish away.
I don't know. I'm not comfortable because of their other children. That's all. Because I
But
think
they're grown up. The other kids are grown up.
no, but it's sort of like, yes, they did do the wrong thing by this child, but they had other difficulties with their other children, according to the information. and I don't want them to all suffer as a result. But that's why I'm a bit conflicted.
Yeah, fair enough. I'm going to, on the other hand, because I'm not conflicted, move them back to wherever she ended up, put them in a flat on their own with some food stamps, pay their rent for 12 months.
Like it.
Tell the authorities that they're very wealthy. So
yes,
they can't,
they're high income earners. They need to be taxed. Yeah.
That's right. They need to be taxed and they can't possibly get any support from government and see how they fare. Oh, and by the way, make sure that they don't have jobs. So I'll make sure they've got social security numbers, but I won't give them a job. I'll give them some food stamps. I'll give them 12 months of rent, and let's just see how they fare.
What about you, Clarky?
Well, I literally cannot even understand the facts in this story because I'm just, I'm so
Baffled,
shocked by the hilarity value of it. But what I will do is...
Oh, sorry. And I'll push them both into an electric fence regularly.
Or try to at least.
No, I'll actually push them.
Okay,
right.
right. So I'm going to take... I'm going to sentence like I'm a dictator, so the facts don't matter. But so I'm going to sentence the couple to live in Anatoly's house in
Moskvins,
Nizhny whatever it was.
Nizhny Novgorod, yeah.
Yeah. So they're going to
rolls
sleep
off the tongue.
They're going to sleep
I've said it so many times.
They're going to sleep on a mattress on the floor with all of the reborn dolls looking over them.
Oh.
Because if that's what that's true. But if that's what they can really see, then they'll be able to really see
scary.
that. Yeah. And then for her, I just wanted her to get a movie career. Because fuck me, if any of what they're saying is true, she could just have an absolute field day making movies.
Well, you think she should be someone who writes them? Or
no, I just wanted to act in them. Like, if she's what they say she is, just go and be yourself. You know, like you're immune from prosecution. We'll just get a video camera out and we'll shoot you walking down this street and you just go fucking crazy nuts and just see what happens.
Crazy nuts.
There is
Crazy
a film
nuts.
called
Crazy
Orphan.
Nuts. Yes, I saw that. That's
strangely paralleled.
Yes,
to
I
this
saw
story.
that just then. That was
is it based
alarming.
on this? Maybe.
Looks like it might be. It just says it's a strange parallel.
Yeah, right. Not so strange parallel. Imagine it though. Imagine if it really was true and you adopted this little kid who threw herself out of cars and smeared blood on mirrors and stood over you to the point where you had to hide all the sharp objects.
Oh, yeah, that is terrifying. No doubt about it. But I don't think it happened. And that's where I'm at with that.
Okay, good chat.
Carla was uncomfortable. You didn't sentence.
No.
No. Okay, that's okay.
Only
that's
because if there are other children, I just feel
all right.
A bit sort of
weird. What about just the odd, like once a month in an electric fence? Just a little shock.
Yeah, that's not too bad. Something that's sort of not going to impact on the other kids. They
won't hurt the other kids. Just go. Trust me, it goes like that. It's not pleasant, but it's over pretty quickly. All right. Well, Clarky, that was a cracker. Didn't see that coming. And enjoyed
that's because it's very short and.
Oh, stop it! It's shit like that that's going to make it hard for us to release it.
Oh, sorry.
So anyone who's offended by this, I apologise.
Probably everybody.
I apologise. I'm sorry. For those of you who enjoyed it, so did we. So thank you very much. And miss you already.
Good night. Over and out.
Ciao.
Ciao.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to Trial by Wine. You can contact us at trialbywine@gmail.com. Please rate, review and subscribe to Trial by Wine on Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. If you'd like to support us, you can become a patron at www.patreon.com, Trial by Wine, or visit our website www.trialbywine.com to donate to us. Your support will help us cover many more cases and apply wacky sentences. We really appreciate you listening and hope you tell everyone about us. Our cover art is by John Christo and music is by Beauchamp from pixabay.com.